the voucher, the funding for that public school goes down, but all the other costs remain.
Our schools are facing dire budget cuts in light of this voucher system, and it's affecting some areas more than others. So those are the immediate impacts. I think if the voucher program is allowed to grow unfettered and, the free markets prevail here and we start to see more and more money poured into advertising and poured into opening new private schools and into misinformation, forcing people out of public schools, I think ultimately we won't have a public school system. Or if we do, that free public school system is only available for a small margin of kids who are probably going to be very low-income families, children of color, and they'll be disinvested. And so we'll have a system of have and have-nots.
Education is a big issue with the upcoming election. I mean, people are concerned about the economy, about immigration, but education, school choice, parental rights is a big point too. The Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump, has said he supports the idea of government giving money to families who send their children to private schools. He's also said for many years now, even since before he was elected in 2016, that he wants to shut down the federal Department of Education.
I want to close up the Department of Education, move education back to the state.
It's something that has broad support within the Republican Party. I mean, it's part of the party's platform heading into this autumn's elections on every level.
Not every state will do great, but of the 50, I would bet that 35 would do great.
But Ellie, to what degree is this fight really about politics? It's a major strand in the culture war. Absolutely. I think it's more and more becoming a political fight. What used to be just about education is now very much about politics. And yes, Trump has talked for many years about what he calls a parent's Bill of Rights.
We will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children.
Which includes loads of things, opposing the teaching of critical race theory, for example.
Rather than indoctrinating young people with inappropriate racial, sexual, and political material, our schools must be totally refocused to prepare our children to succeed in the world.
Project 2025, which is kind of document setting out a particular set of plans. It's not necessarily Donald Trump's plans, but it is a right-wing strand of the Republican Party's plans. They have said that Arizona is the model for school choice and what they would like to see more widely across the US in the future. It's really about the government's role in society, and that's one of the things that Beth Lewis from Save Our Schools Arizona reflected on as well.
We have folks that are very libertarian in nature who really believe that taxation is theft and that we should all be able to just take our tax dollars and walk away from, society, really.
And there are those concerns about what children are taught in public schools, and you mentioned Project 2025. The educational plans within that account for, I think, almost 10% of the document. But there are also concerns about how schools are funded in this country, that the quality of education varies so widely from school to school because their budgets vary so widely from school to school. I mean, some schools here in Washington, D.C., and it would be the same in other urban areas in the country, have a higher illiteracy rate than literacy rate among children graduating from primary school, elementary school. Joe Biden said in his State of the Union address just this year that his goal was to make sure every child can read by third grade, that is the age 8 to 9. Many other countries will be aiming for children to be reading at a younger age than that. And we should point out as well, it's not just Republicans who are moving their children from public schools into private schools. There's a general move there. And Alex, we've heard from parents who say they're worried that public schools push certain ideologies on their children or exclude others. But is there a similar argument to be made on the other side, that children who are in private school or who are homeschooled